We have a great episode, Matt.
Really?
You know what it's about?
I have no idea.
It's my favorite thing to do.
Something with big engines, duct tape, and pixie sticks.
Close. We're going to talk about hacking cars together to get yourself home. And I am so excited about the next part.
Yeah?
We have our very first guest on the show.
No way.
Mr. Nick Iosua,
Awesome.
who's a car guy.
Let's get the show on the road.
Let's do this. Engine Noise Podcast is brought to you by oneiauto.com. Quality auto parts that ship quickly and come with thousands of free online videos that walk you through your installs. Matt, did you know that One Auto has fast and free shipping?
I did know. You know what I think of when I think of One Auto?
No.
A cheetah.
Oh.
Because it's fast and it's free.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I can attest to One Auto having fast and free shipping because I have bought a lot of parts from them. One Auto, quality auto parts that ship fast and free, just like a cheetah. Hey, welcome to the Engine Noise Podcast for do-it-yourselfers like me who don't mind getting their hands dirty. I'm your car guy, Jeremy Nutt.
And I'm Matt, the guy with the beard and the beat-up baseball cap. Actually, I've bought this hat 6 times.
Why would you buy it 6 times?
I just buy the same hat over and over again, just when it gets dirty and worn out. Gotta stick with what works.
Yeah, all right, I can respect that. So Matt, you ever have to hack your car back together again to get it home?
I have had to, yeah.
Yeah, I have actually had a couple experiences like that as well. And our producer, Jamie, she was actually just telling me a story how her dad was out on a date with her mom and the car broke down. I'm going to say the car overheated. And the reason I think that is because her father said the belt came off the car and therefore the car broke down. And the only real reason that could happen is water pump stopped spinning or alternator stopped spinning. And usually the car overheats before it runs out of electricity. So he goes into the back of the car, digs out a bathing suit of his then girlfriend, cuts it up, ties it together, gets the water pump spinning, and he's on his way.
What?
Pretty rad, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw a recent thing being passed around Facebook where somebody tied a bunch of zip ties together and did the same exact thing, 20 zip ties and made like a fan belt out of it. Pretty impressive. Must have made a racket.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to try it. Can we try it on your car?
Why not?
All right. That's what we're going to talk about today. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to hack your car together and get home.
If it works, it's not stupid.
One of the biggest hacks that I have done, which actually didn't get me home, but it was for my friend's car who needed an inspection sticker. This is obviously off the record, Matt.
Of course. Nobody's ever going to hear this.
Yeah, no, nobody's listening. So what we did was he bought a mid-'80s Chevy full-size truck that used to be a construction vehicle. It was beat to death. And it was rotted. It looked like it had never been washed. It had no bottom half.
Sounds like a pretty good purchase.
It was a great deal. I think he actually got it for free.
There you go then.
Yeah. So I did some engine work to it so that it would actually move. And then he needed rocker panels because you couldn't get an inspection sticker because the rocker panels were completely missing because they had rotted off 5 years before. So we went to the store and we got some spray foam, the expanding foam that comes in the can.
Oh, yeah.
Filled the rocker panels, the spot where the rocker panel should go, with spray foam.
I know where this is going.
Oh, yeah. And then we shaped it so it looked like rocker panels. And then I got a bucket of Bondo, which is your favorite.
I'm very familiar with that.
And I spread the Bondo in a nice even layer over the foam. And I made the rocker panels look absolutely mint. You would be amazed at how nice these rocker panels were.
I need pictures.
Well, here's the crazy part of the story. He gets an inspection sticker. Giant win for us. Years later, I'm in the junkyard. And off in the distance, I see this truck that is on the roof of another truck, and it's my friend's old truck.
No way.
Rocker panels still there, still looking mint.
You can't tell.
No, this is a very distinct truck. It had an orange light on the center of the roof. I mean, it was this ugly forest green color and rotted everywhere.
Oh, that's great.
It was undoubtedly his truck. So how about you? You have any hack stories?
Well, really similar to that, Jeremy. Every single hole on my truck that I fill with Bondo.
Oh, nice.
You got to stuff the holes with paper towels and then use mesh sheetrock tape.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. That's the expensive stuff.
Jam a bunch of Bondo in there. You don't sand it or anything. You just put a coat of paint right over it.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, if you notice that your gas tank strap is rotting out, you can crawl under there and you can use a tie-down strap.
Pro tip right there. That's a good pro tip.
Yep.
So do you buy most of your auto part repair items at the hardware store?
Yeah. That's where you want to get locked out of your car. That is exactly what I did.
So did you buy a hammer? Just smash the glass?
No, I'll tell you exactly what I did.
Okay.
I went into the store. I first grabbed a 5-gallon bucket.
That is not what I would expect.
No, not at all.
You've already
right?
thrown me for a loop right now.
In that bucket, I threw a hammer and one of those door stopper wedge thingies.
Okay, this makes sense now.
Yep.
I still don't know about the bucket.
Well, I took it all out to my truck, took the items out of the bucket, flipped the bucket so I could stand on it, and then I took the wedge, jammed it in the top of the door, got down off the bucket, grabbed the handle off of the bucket, and straightened it out.
Wow.
And reached in and unlocked the truck.
That is impressive,
Yeah,
man.
and then straightened the handle back out.
And then you have a bucket.
No, you return all the stuff. You crazy?
I was excited about the bucket.
No.
Oh, I always like having the 5-gallon buckets around.
I got a ton of them. I didn't need that one, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
Get
Now,
one on the side of the road.
the hardware store people didn't think less of you for buying the items for like 3 minutes and returning them.
Oh, I forgot. I don't need any of these things.
My bad.
I swear this is specifically why I came in today.
I just came in to buy these and then return them.
Changed my mind, basically.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive, Matt. Well done.
Thank you.
So, I think we should come up with like a top 5 list of things you should know or do when you need to hack your car together and get home.
Yeah, I like that.
I think the first one needs to be zip ties.
Yeah, I would say so.
I really like the gigantic ones that you get for HVAC work.
Oh, yeah.
You go to the hardware store and you get the ones that are like 3 feet long and half an inch wide. They're amazing. You can hold the seats down in your car. You can put your engine block in and hold that down. Your exhaust system falls off. Maybe it'll melt, but it'll hold it for a little while.
True.
There's so many uses for those. It's amazing. 50% of my cars have been held together with those. What's the next one, Matt?
If your zip tie is going to melt off your muffler, coat hangers would be the way to go.
Yeah, I think coat hangers is probably the next on the list. That's number 2. Zip ties, coat hangers. What the heck is number 3, Matt?
Water.
Number 3 has got to be water. So when all your antifreeze pours out and it's gone from the car and your car's overheating, you got to keep your gallon of water in the trunk. Pour it in the radiator, you'll be good for a little while. Fourth? What do you think, Matt?
A flashlight duct tape to your headlight, right? Yeah, perfect.
That would be good. Number 4 is actually 2 different tools that you should keep in your trunk to save you from, yourself.
Okay.
The first one is groove jaw pliers.
Big adjustable pliers.
Big adjustable pliers. The second one is locking pliers. I've held a lot of cars together with locking pliers.
Yeah, I had a friend that his parking brake release broke his handle, so he used locking pliers.
Number 5 is clear packing tape, Matt.
Really?
Yeah.
Are we shipping some stuff? What's going on
We're
here?
not going to be shipping anything. Okay. We're just going to be saving ourselves from the rain and snow.
Oh.
Because you can make a side window out of clear packing tape. Because it just looks like a window, Matt.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, if it works, it's not dumb.
You guys got any hack repairs that you want to show us? Send us a picture. We'll throw it up on our social media.
Yeah.
We'd love to see it.
Matt, did you know that One Eye Auto can ship to most of the country within 2 to 3 business days? Because they have multiple warehouses.
Oh, yeah.
So not only is it fast, but it's also free.
Can't beat that.
I know. In the past, a lot of the time, I would run out to a local auto parts store, and then they wouldn't have it. I'd go to the next auto parts store, and the next one, and the next one, and I'd bounce around to a bunch of different auto parts stores. Now, I just hop on oneeyeauto.com, order the part, and they have it to me quick, and it's free shipping. You just can't beat that.
That's so easy. I love it.
That's like the best customer service you could ever want, because you order the part, and you obviously need it for your car, so you want it fast.
Right away.
You get it quickly because they have multiple warehouses. Not everybody can say that.
No.
And they make sure that it gets to you safely. OneEyeAuto.com. Quality auto parts that ship quickly and come with thousands of free online videos that walk you through your installs. So, Matt.
Yeah?
You remember when I said we have a guest today?
Pretty excited for it.
Nick, you want to say something?
Hello.
Nick is a friend of the podcast, and he is a car enthusiast like us.
I am. Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to talk some cars with you guys.
So, when did you get into the car hobby?
I'm going to blame my dad.
Okay.
Grew up at the track. He always dragged me along, forced me to watch loud things.
Yep.
And then it just stuck, and I started to mess with my own cars.
What kind of racing was he taking you to?
all drag racing. I was really into that. It was simple. I lived 20 minutes from the track, still do, even though I don't really do drag racing anymore.
Is there a reason for that?
Other motorsports are cheaper.
I like this guy's style.
Yeah. I figured you'd be into that, Matt.
Yeah.
What was your first car, Nick?
A 96 Buick Skylark. Funny story. I was at work. My dad calls me while I was working. He said, I got you a $50 Buick, and then hung up the phone.
Wow.
And I just went home and saw this off beige, ugly
Yeah.
thing in my driveway, but it was wheels. I was 16, didn't care what it was.
Yeah, it don't
exactly.
matter.
I still messed with it.
So did you immediately do neutral drops in the driveway and burn the front tires off?
It didn't have that much power.
Okay.
If you tied a rope to a tree, yes.
Yeah.
You could do burnouts.
Oh, I've done that.
From there, it kind of spiraled out of control. I started trading a lot of cars. I had a 95 Thunderbird that my parents gave me half of the money for.
That's rear-wheel drive.
Yes, and that's when it sparked everything. That car actually got hit, and I got an insurance check for it. So I got a mini truck.
Yeah,
Here
Matt.
we go with the mini trucks again.
That's
Well,
right.
I didn't like it.
Sorry, Jeremy.
Aw.
From there, I traded through a bunch of like normal cars, project cars, and ended up with a 306 Mustang that had a roll cage in it and a
Whoa.
sumped fuel cell. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. It was really fast. It had a dynamic C4 transmission with a reverse manual valve body.
Oh,
And I drove this to school.
nice.
Not a smart person driving that. The gear ratio was very short. That Mustang, I traded for a 240 SX.
Oh, okay.
And that was
What is a
more
240 SX?
the late 80s to the late 90s almost. A rear-wheel drive Nissan car that changed a lot of sports now. Back then, didn't really do much here at least.
Yeah.
A lot of other places it came with better engines. Here we got a weird off-square turd ball truck engine shoved in this cool car.
Yep.
And it just wasn't any good.
But they are a big deal in the drifting world.
Yes.
If you're talking drifting, you talk 240 SXs. Like, that is like the go-to car that I think everybody drifts with.
It really is. That's starting to change and is the reason why I don't have one anymore. They are expensive because of that.
Huh.
When I had one, you could trade a bag of Doritos for an engine. Nobody cared. But now people want crazy money for old cars because the demand's there. The demand went up. The price went crazy. I got out of it.
Do people legit buy cars just to drift in?
Yes.
Why don't we tell the listeners a little bit more about drifting?
From the domestic United States form of skid racing history, it has deep grassroots history that's still present in the professional leagues. Some of the original drivers are still in there. Obviously, it's not that old, so that's how they're still in it.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of local following. Local tracks have local events, and it's very user-friendly. Everybody kind of helps each other out. It's just a young sport that is on the rise, and it's a blast. It's an absolute blast.
So because it's a young sport, does that mean you can get in and making a job out of it? Or at least getting well-known sort of quickly because it's not super huge?
From what I've gathered, there's a lot of different leagues. It seems a little rough to get into the professional Formula Drift circuit. It takes a large budget and a lot of sponsor backing because these cars just torch engines and they roast through tires, and it's a very expensive sport if you're making the kind of power these guys are making. It gets out of hand quick. But the glory to drifting is you look at any other sport, it's all regulated, and I don't mean safety. I'm talking about chassis, engine choice, horsepower, everything. You can go to a drifting event and see everything. V8s, rotaries, 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, turbo, NA, supercharged. You can see Lexuses, Toyotas, Nissans, everything on the face of the planet is racing against each other.
Right.
And it's just crazy. It gets out of hand.
Yeah, it's not like NASCAR where everybody has the same exact car with like different colors.
It's more of a driver's race, even though that's not discrediting anybody that's working on the technical end. But a lot of it is the driver's skill over, we made this weird combination of stuff and it beat your weird combination of stuff.
Right. So if you were to do a day of drifting, do you go through more than one set of tires?
Depends on the car and the amount of horsepower you make. If you have like a Miata, you can make a set of tires last a long time.
Like more than one day of racing?
Yeah, believe it or not, people come in on one set of tires and leave on that same set of tires.
That's impressive.
Yes. But if you have an LS swapped E46, suddenly things get a little bit more pricey.
So let's talk about your car.
Yes.
What are you building?
I'm currently building an LS swapped E46.
Now, for the non-BMW enthusiasts out there, what is an E46?
It's the 99 to 04-ish, excuse my BMW ignorance. They're cheap, and I'm just getting into the BMWs. They have great angle factory, but they're the 99.5 E46, I'm sorry. E36 is still exists in 99, but this is the rounder one.
Okay, so why did you go with that, other than the fact that it's rear-wheel drive?
From stock form, they have a great size engine bay to swap in anything, just like a 240 would be the rear-wheel drive, and they have good steering angle from the factory. You don't need to mess with anything. You can pretty much go with the stock rack and not even cut out a bump stop, and you can counter steer enough to drift.
Now, could you have stuck with the stock engine if you wanted to?
Yes.
So why didn't you do that?
It broke.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you know about that, Jeremy?
Yeah, I think I've broken an engine or two in my day.
So I purchased that recently, actually, and I fixed a few things, and on its maiden voyage down my road to disturb every neighbor I have,
Right.
second gear blew up.
Okay. So it was really the transmission that nuked itself.
Yes.
So the engine itself could have been around.
Yeah, I could have swapped it.
But then you're like, why would I have a BMW engine when I can swap a Chevy V8 in it?
The answer to any repair is put in an LS.
Exactly. As the listeners know, I'm a big fan of these LS swaps. And wouldn't you know it, Nick has an LS swapped BMW just by chance.
Wow, weird.
Yeah, really weird. Tell us about the LS swap. What engine did you go with? And what transmission? And is it in? Does it run? Are you doing burnouts? Can you drift it?
No, not yet. It's not that far along.
Okay.
It's a 5.3 from a junkyard out of an 04 Avalanche. And what that means to any 5.3 guys is it is drive-by-wire. Some people hate drive-by-wire. Some people swear by it. It's easy to mount a pedal. I like that. I'm running a Nissan transmission.
Okay. What kind of Nissan transmission is it?
So it's a 300ZX, the Z32 chassis. So it's from 91 to whenever it ended.
Yeah,
it's off of the V6. It's a V6.
Mid to late 90s?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They're stout, beefy transmissions, and they can take a beating.
And you need some sort of adapter for that, I assume.
Yes. So I was never into LS swaps because of the T56 cost.
Yes.
When two companies on separate occasions released an adapter plate, one was very expensive. It still didn't justify the swap cost.
Right.
Another company released an incredibly cheap swap plate. That's kind of scary looking because there's not a lot of bolt holes.
Right.
Bolt holes, excuse me.
That was bolt, B-O-L-T.
Yeah, I think
holes.
I left out an L.
Okay, so you have the adapter, you have the transmission, you have the engine. Is it in the car?
It was test fitted.
Okay. So you've bolted the stuff together, somewhat.
Yeah, zip tied, loosely, eyeballed.
So, yeah, like most of the stuff I drive. Can you keep the stock rear differential in that?
Yes, they're not too strong. Stock form, it should be okay for, I'm hoping to get a few seasons out of it.
Are they limited slips?
No, this differential is open and it's welded.
Oh, well, that'll be fun around corners.
Nope.
So yeah, for non-drifters out there, basically he welded up the rear differential so both rear tires spin at the same time. So that means when you go around a corner, one tire is going to slip all the time, which is great for drifting because it'll make you drift. But if you're driving in the rain on the street, it makes for a scary drive.
Yes, it does.
I saw a picture on the gram of yours, Nick.
Yes.
And I would love to know what was going on with the massive rat's nest of wires. And also, is that a song that you were creating on your laptop?
I wish it was. I'm not that musically inclined, but I started the 5.3 harness process, which lt1swap.com, they have a fantastic pinout diagram on how to make an engine harness basically standalone or work by itself without a bunch of like body control modules or even the ignition. So that's what I was doing to that harness, was making it independent from its truck.
What was the computer all about?
That was a frame from LT1's website. And the pinout, which is the plugs on like the ECU of a computer, the pinout's just what each pin in the computer does.
Yeah.
And I was de-pinning and bringing them to their own circuit.
Whoa.
So basically you start with like a truck engine harness and you take out all the junk that the wiring harness doesn't need. So you remove like 20 wires.
If you want to take it out. I mean, I made a rat's nest in the corner of my harness of all the stuff I didn't need.
Right.
Or
Or
just
you
put that off to the side.
Yeah.
And then all you need to do is basically give this harness power and ground, either from the ignition or from a fuse box, and then the engine itself has all the power it needs to run by itself.
Yeah, you could essentially take the ECU, the harness, add a couple of switches and hoojimadenkers, and you could run the engine like in your driveway.
Right.
Out of the vehicle.
hacking the system.
It kind of is.
Exactly.
Well, Nick, that sounds like something that I'm never going to do, but I respect you for doing it.
It's one of those things that's really daunting.
And when do you expect to actually drive this thing?
Within the next 2 weeks,
Ooh.
I have everything. I modded my harness. The worst part's going to be is that people don't make a header for the engine transmission combination I have. Mm-hmm. The thing about the Z32 trans or any different transmission from like small block Ford or small block Chevy, the starters are mounted in the block.
Yep.
So there's an eyelet in the block. On these other transmissions, actually mounted in the bell housing.
Right.
So they tend to stick out very far from the conventional spot. And this one is the worst I've ever seen. And I think it's because of the engine bay space available in the 300ZX. They actually mounted these below the manifold line. And these are actually like almost as low as the oil pan.
Interesting.
So I have to cut up some long tubes, and it's not going to be fun.
Can you flip them upside down and just throw a turbo on each one?
Yeah, sure.
Nick, let me ask you a question. What is the best automotive advice that you've ever been given about cars?
Right tool for the job. There is literally a tool to do everything, and when you get it, you're going to feel very stupid for using the wrong one.
Okay.
It's not amount of breaking things. I tried so hard to get this bolt off, and all I needed was blank. And that's the best advice I've ever been given. Use the right tool for the right job.
I think that always applies when you're using pullers or presses.
Yes. And when I say right tool and everything is made, you can also make tools. Tools can be very expensive.
Right.
I make a lot of pass-through sockets working on Volkswagens, which is also another category that I'm into that can spiral into a dark, deep hole.
Let's hold on.
Yeah.
Let's hold on.
If you have a welder, you can weld tools together, make all this stuff, and this is just a whole other category of stuff you can have.
Yeah, I actually have a box full of old like spare sockets that I've like found in the road or like got at yard sales for like $1 where you get a box of random sockets.
Yep.
And I'll like cut and weld those together and make my own like special sockets that do weird things.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember on my motorcycle, it needed a special socket to get into the cylinder head to get the spark plugs out. And it wasn't just the normal like 5/8 or 13/16 socket. So I pulled one of my random extra sockets out, ground it down on a grinding wheel, and I made a super thin wall socket, and then I tapered the top of it so that it wasn't going to hit the cylinder head, made a custom socket out of it. That is what you often end up doing when you don't want to spend the like $100 on the special socket.
There probably was a special socket floating around.
Oh, yeah.
It was probably $40 for one socket.
No way I'm going to spend $40
Yeah.
on the socket.
When are you planning on having the car going?
I'm hoping it's done like next weekend. I still have to have somebody make me a drive shaft, which is the worst part of all this. You got to trust other people.
Can't you just like measure it and bring the two ends that you need and be like, here, make me a drive shaft that's 30 inches long?
There's
or
that
whatever.
level of my personal trust in myself.
I see.
I'm not good with fractions. I'm going to be like, it's 13 and 4 lines after 13 is how long I need it. That'd be
Right.
great.
You need the easy read tape.
Matt, can you tell us about the easy measuring tape?
I actually don't remember. I know there were fractions on them.
Oh, it tells you each fraction?
Yeah, all the tricky ones.
They're all tricky.
Okay, guys, listen up. I have something special for you.
Is it cookies?
No,
Is it
Jeremy.
cake?
No, but it is a game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we get to play other people?
It's you two guessing whether or not these crazy car stories are true or false. All right, so you guys can work together as a team or you can compete. What would you like to do?
I don't know how much I like you.
I want to compete then.
Oh, yeah. I think this is a points
Oh, wow.
battle.
It's a competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going down.
It's official. Here we go. First story. True or false? The headline reads, "Man who crashes into a restaurant, then orders a pizza."
I feel like I'm going to go false on it. I think it just sounds too ridiculous.
I was going to run true. I feel like I've heard so many stories about
I know.
the
They're always driving through the front of the store.
People just always driving through the front door to try to order pizza.
Well, it looks like Nick has 1 point because it is
I
true.
knew it.
Gosh.
True story.
Who invited this guy?
It's an epidemic.
Wow.
All right. Let's see what happens on the next round, Nick.
Sure. Here is the headline. 80-year-old man on portable oxygen tries stealing semi-truck.
Wow.
Let that sink
Impressive.
in for a second.
Yeah, that is impressive.
I'm going to call that one true. I don't know how he would have got it started.
I'm
Next.
gonna run the dice on false.
All right. I'll
Because
go true.
I feel like if this guy was on oxygen, I couldn't do it.
Well, guess what, guys?
What?
Nick's got 2 points.
Oh, come on.
It was false.
This is a blowout.
Okay, number 3.
All right.
True or false? Headline reads, Man crashes car after drunk driving, decides to hide from police in a nativity scene.
Oh, that is awesome.
It's ridiculous.
It's got to be true. I'm going true.
I feel like somebody would do that.
Well, both of you win. It is true.
Oh,
Hey now.
retaining lead.
Brother.
So it's 3-1.
You
hear
don't have
that,
to remind
Jeremy?
me. You
Is
don't
that
have to
3 to
remind
1?
me.
I can count 1, 2, 3, and you
Yeah.
only have 1.
I don't even remember.
1 is less than
means.
3.
Whose LS swap works, okay?
Oh, ouch.
Just
wow.
going to say it. I'm going to say it.
I mean, I'll go true on that one.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
All right.
Well, thank you, Nick. It was a good time. I
Right.
understood some of it. We'll have to have you on again.
It was quite a pleasure to have a fellow car enthusiast here and our first real guest.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun talking about all the stupid stuff I own.
Anytime you want to come beat Jeremy at his own game,
Yep.
Ooh, yes. Identify weird headlines. I'd like to play that again.
I imagine you'll be a winner then, too. Maybe once the BMW is officially LS swapped and you've drifted a little bit, maybe you can drift on back here and we'll
yeah.
have you on the show again.
I'd love to do that. And we can see who can do a better burnout.
burnout challenge.
Your
Le Mans.
Le Mans, thank you.
Yep.
And my BMW.
Yep.
I think mine would win the fast one because yours probably weighs, what, 3,600 pounds?
Like 1,000,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Whose car do you think will actually break first?
I don't know. Maybe mine?
Can I play? I think mine will win.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there, Matt.
You might be playing a different game.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Engine Noise, a podcast brought to you by our sponsor, oneauto.com. Quality auto parts that ship free and have thousands of how-to videos that walk you through your installs. Thank you to our producer, Jamie Prohaska, our editor, Patty Ford, and our marketing team, Kristen Fitzpatrick and Christian Hera. And thank you to our very first guest, Nick Iosua.
Great to have Nick here. It was fun kicking back, talking cars. We'll have another great episode of Engine Noise drop in 2 weeks. Our show drops on the 1st and 15th of every month, so be sure you subscribe so you'll be notified when that happens.
Matt, did you know that our email address just changed?
Oh, really?
It went from enginenoisepodcast@gmail.com to help@enginenoisepodcast.com.
It's official now.
It is official.
I need help. You need help. We all need help sometimes.
So if you need any help on your car, truck, motorcycle, Volkswagen, whatever your car may be, or truck, just email us at help@enginenoisepodcast.com.
And remember, like, follow, and share our show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks again for listening. And until next time, continue to DIY.
Do it yourself.
Go autocrossing.
Buff out the scratches. Email us for help, maybe.
Yeah, but use our new email.
Yeah, definitely. Go drifting.
Buy a project car.
Swap out your engine. Maybe an LS swap.
Kick those tires and light those fires. That's all I got.
This podcast is over. I showed you the picture of the record player that I got.
Yes.
And then you gave me the J5
Which is
album,
awesome. Yep.
which I enjoy thoroughly. And once people knew I had a record player, suddenly all these people are like, oh, I got these boxes of
yeah.
records that you're going to want. So people just start showing up to my house with boxes of records. My sister, she currently lives in Florida. She and her husband were cleaning out her husband's parents' house,
Yep.
and they found all these boxes of records.
Nice.
They brought them to my house because they heard I'm the record guy now.
Yep.
And now I have, no joke, I think I have 50 Elvis records.
Oh, boy.
I didn't even know he made this much music.
Yeah.
It is crazy. And they're all different. I would say most of them are 45s, so there's not much music on each album.
Yep.
But holy moly, I've never seen so much Elvis anything in my life. But along with that, I got some really good stuff. Like I got the Rumors Fleetwood Mac album.
Nice.
Pretty awesome.
Yep.
And then I got, oh man, all these names are, picture any big name from the 70s. Yeah, I have that record
You
too.
got it?
Yeah, I got that. Except for the Beatles. But yeah, I got a lot of weird stuff. And then I got a bunch of old things from the 50s too.
That's cool.
I have a problem with the 45s though, because every time I put a 45 on, it's done in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like it plays like, what is it, 2 songs or
Yeah,
something
you
like
have
that?
to literally stand there and just hang out.
Like
while
how
it
much?
plays.
Like it must have been obnoxious when that was your only option in like the
Well,
60s,
if it was your
70s,
only
whatever.
option, then it wouldn't be annoying.
Yeah, I
you know?
suppose.
This
Yeah.
is music at my leisure.
I know. I just have to run to the record player every like 6 minutes to change the record out.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can do it in like a split second either. You have to like move things around, lift
Yeah.
the records off, flip them over, do the things.
And you got that little adapter thing
Yeah,
for
then
the
there's
middle.
the adapter, and then the adapter, you got to mess around with it to make it work.
Yeah.
Records, man. But I mean, there is something like
Pure.
about it. Yeah, I was thinking
the
primitive,
scratches
but
and pops.
yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to see music come out of like a piece of plastic because it seems like magic. It's
Yeah.
pretty much magic.
It kind of is.